Welcome all of you.
नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, सोल्युशन्स पार्ट 4 मध्ये आपल्या सर्वांचं अगदी मनापासून स्वागत. पाठीमाग आपण सोल्युशन पार्ट 3 मध्ये मेथड्स ऑफ एक्सप्रेसिंग कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ऑफ सोल्युशन हे अभ्यासलेला आहे की ज्याच्यामध्ये आपण सोल्युशनच्या कॉन्सन्ट्रेशनचं एक्सप्रेशन आपण वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीनं केलेलं आहे. मग त्याच्यामध्ये पर्सेंटेज बाय मास किंवा त्याला आपण मास पर्सेंट म्हणलं, व्हॉल्यूम पर्सेंट, मोलॅरिटी, मोल फ्रॅक्शन, नॉर्मॅलिटी, फॉर्मॅलिटी, पार्ट पर मिलियन या पद्धतीनं आपण हे वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीनं एखाद्या द्रावणाचं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन कसं मोजलं जातं हे आपण अभ्यासलेलं आहे. आजच्या या सोल्युशन पार्ट 4 मध्ये आपण अभ्यासणार आहे व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ सोल्युशन. आता व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ सोल्युशन हे अभ्यासण्या अगोदर व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ लिक्विड हे काय आहे हे आपल्याला माहिती असणं गरजेचं आहे. तर आपला पहिला मुद्दा असेल व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ लिक्विड. हे व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ लिक्विड अभ्यासण्यासाठी एक आपण साधा प्रयोग या ठिकाणी घडूया. समजून चला, एखाद्या बीकर मध्ये एखादं लिक्विड आपण घेतलेलं असेल आणि हा बीकर एका क्लोज्ड कंटेनर मध्ये या पद्धतीने आपण ठेवला असेल. सो बीकर कंटेनिंग लिक्विड इज प्लेस्ड इन क्लोज्ड कंटेनर. Now at constant temperature, constant room temperature, what happens with this liquid? Room temperature ला, constant temperature ला या लिक्विडच्या बाबतीमध्ये काय घडेल? तर ऑब्झर्वेशन आपलं असेल या लिक्विडच्या सरफेस वरचे जे काही मॉलिक्यूल असतील यांचं इव्हॉपरेशन होईल and these molecules goes to the gaseous state. So concentration of gaseous molecule over the surface of liquid get increases. Now these gaseous molecule get collide with one another as well as they get collide with wall of container. जसं या गॅस मॉलिक्यूलचं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन या लिक्विडच्या पृष्ठभागावरती वाढत जाईल तसं हे गॅस मॉलिक्यूल एकमेकाबरोबरती कोलिजन घडवतील. त्याचबरोबरती या कंटेनरच्या वॉल बरोबरती सुद्धा त्यांचं कोलिजन होईल आणि या कोलिजनचा परिणाम असा होईल की हे वायुरूप अवस्थेमध्ये असणारे जे काही मॉलिक्यूल आहेत ते परत मूळच्या लिक्विड अवस्थेमध्ये रूपांतरित होतील. म्हणजेच या गॅसियस मॉलिक्यूलचं कंडेन्सेशन होईल. थोडक्यात आपल्याला या एक्सपेरिमेंट मध्ये दिसून येईल दोन प्रक्रिया एकमेकाच्या विरोधी घडत आहेत. अगदी सुरुवातीला घडणारी जी प्रक्रिया आहे ती इव्हॉपरेशन, दॅट इज कन्व्हर्शन ऑफ लिक्विड मॉलिक्युल्स इनटू गॅसियस स्टेट. आणि त्याच्यानंतर जेव्हा ते गॅस मॉलिक्यूल एकमेकाबरोबरती कोलाइड होतील किंवा या कंटेनरच्या वॉल बरोबरती कोलाइड होतील त्यावेळी घडणारी जी प्रक्रिया असेल ती म्हणजे कंडेन्सेशन. थोडक्यात कॉन्स्टंट टेम्परेचरला ही एक रिव्हर्सिबल प्रोसेस असेल. आणि या रिव्हर्सिबल प्रोसेस मध्ये जी फॉरवर्ड प्रोसेस असणार आहे ती इव्हॉपरेशनची आणि बॅकवर्ड जी प्रोसेस असेल ती कंडेन्सेशन. आता आपण पाठीमाग 11वी मध्ये इक्विलिब्रियम या टॉपिक मध्ये अभ्यासल्याप्रमाणे जर एखादी प्रोसेस रिव्हर्सिबल असेल आणि ती जर कॉन्स्टंट टेम्परेचरला घडवली जात असेल तर ती प्रक्रिया चालू झाल्यापासून एका ठराविक कालावधीपर्यंत अनइक्विलिब्रियम स्टेटमध्ये असते. मात्र तो कालावधी गेल्यानंतर त्या प्रक्रियेमध्ये एक अशी अवस्था प्राप्त होते की त्या अवस्थेला फॉरवर्ड प्रक्रियेचा वेग आणि बॅकवर्ड प्रक्रियेचा वेग ह्या दोन्ही वेग एक सारखे बनतात आणि त्या अवस्थेला आपण इक्विलिब्रियम किंवा डायनामिक इक्विलिब्रियम असं म्हटलेलं आहे. अगदी त्याचप्रमाणे या एक्सपेरिमेंट मध्ये सुद्धा आपल्याला असंच ऑब्झर्वेशन येणार आहे. प्रक्रिया जेव्हा सुरुवात झाली त्यावेळी जी प्रोसेस होती ती फॉरवर्ड इव्हॉपरेशन, एखाद्या ठराविक कालावधीनंतर परत बॅकवर्ड प्रोसेस सुरू झाली ती म्हणजे कंडेन्सेशन, आणि कॉन्स्टंट टेम्परेचरला या प्रोसेसमध्ये एक स्टेट अशी येईल की त्या स्टेटला फॉरवर्ड प्रोसेसचा वेग म्हणजे इव्हॉपरेशनचा वेग आणि बॅकवर्ड प्रोसेसचा वेग म्हणजे कंडेन्सेशनचा वेग हा सारखा होईल. सो रेट ऑफ इव्हॉपरेशन becomes equal to rate of condensation, and this state is referred as equilibrium state. At this state, vapor state is in equilibrium with liquid state. आता या स्टेटला त्या लिक्विडच्या व्हेपरनं जे काही प्रेशर एक्झर्ट केलेलं असेल त्या प्रेशरला आपण व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ लिक्विड असं म्हणता येईल. थोडक्यात या व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ लिक्विड याची व्याख्या आपल्याला या पद्धतीने देता येईल. द प्रेशर एक्झर्टेड बाय व्हेपर ऑर गॅसियस स्टेट इन इक्विलिब्रियम विथ इट्स लिक्विड स्टेट इज नोन एज व्हेपर प्रेशर ऑफ लिक्विड. सो प्रेशर एक्झर्टेड बाय व्हेपर or gaseous state in equilibrium with its liquid state is known as vapor pressure of liquid. आता हे व्हेपर प्रेशर काही बाह्य घटकांवरती अवलंबून असेल. आता हे घटक कोणते, तर त्यातला पहिला घटक असेल टेम्परेचर. सो फॅक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग व्हेपर प्रेशर. Factors affecting vapor pressure. There are two factors which affect vapor pressure of the liquid. दोन आपला घटक सांगता येतील की ज्या दोन घटकांचा परिणाम आपल्याला कोणत्याही द्रवाच्या व्हेपर प्रेशर वरती झालेला दिसून येईल. मग त्यातला पहिला जो फॅक्टर असेल तो म्हणजे टेम्परेचर. हाऊ दिस टेम्परेचर अफेक्ट द व्हेपर प्रेशर. आपल्याला ऑब्झर्वेशन असेल की जर एखाद्या द्रवाचं तुम्ही टेम्परेचर वाढवत असाल तसं त्या द्रवाचं व्हेपर प्रेशर सुद्धा वाढलं जाईल. म्हणजेच कोणत्याही द्रवाचं व्हेपर प्रेशर हे तापमानाच्या समप्रमाणामध्ये बदललं जातं. ऍज टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीजेस vapor pressure of the liquid also get increases. Mathematically we can write vapor pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. Now this variation of vapor pressure with respect to temperature is given by scientists Clausius and Clapeyron by the equation Clausius-Clapeyron equation. तर हे जे काही व्हेपर प्रेशर आहे ते बदललं जात आहे. जर तुम्ही तापमान वाढवत असाल व्हेपर प्रेशर वाढलं जाईल, तापमान कमी करत असाल व्हेपर प्रेशर सुद्धा कमी होणार आहे, आणि हे बदलणारे जे व्हेपर प्रेशर असेल हे तापमानावरती अवलंबून असेल. व्हेपर प्रेशर आणि करस्पॉन्डिंग टेम्परेचर यांच्यामधलं जे काही रिलेशन आहे ते रिलेशन क्लॉसियस क्लॅपेरॉन इक्वेशनच्या सहाय्याने आपल्याला देता येईल. दॅट इक्वेशन इज log to the base 10 of P2 upon P1 is equal to enthalpy of vaporization divided by 2.303 into R into 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. What are the terms in Clausius-Clapeyron equation? That P1 and P2 are the vapor pressure of the liquid at temperature T1 and T2 respectively. That means P1 is the vapor pressure of the liquid at temperature T1 and P2 is the vapor pressure of the liquid at temperature T2. This enthalpy of vaporization, that is amount of heat required to convert liquid state into gaseous state at given temperature, that is referred as enthalpy of vaporization. 2.303 is the factor to convert log to the base E into log to the base 10, and R is nothing but molar gas constant whose value is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole, and this is all about the equation showing variation in the vapor pressure of the liquid with respect to temperature. So this equation is known as Clausius-Clapeyron इक्वेशन. बऱ्याच एक्झाम मध्ये नीट जेई सारख्या एक्झाम मध्ये आपल्याला प्रश्न विचारला जातो, रिलेशन बिटवीन व्हेपर प्रेशर विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू टेम्परेचर इज गिव्हन बाय, तर आन्सर असेल क्लॉसियस क्लॅपेरॉन इक्वेशन आणि त्याचं जे मॅथमॅटिकल एक्सप्रेशन असेल ते या पद्धतीने असेल log to the base 10 of P2 upon P1 is equal to enthalpy of vaporization divided by 2.303 into R into 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. So this is all about effect of temperature on the vapor pressure of the liquid. Now next factor which affect the vapor pressure of the liquid is nature of liquid. Nature of liquid. If liquid which possesses weak intermolecular forces of attraction which have low boiling point, ज्या द्रवामध्ये इंटरमोलेक्युलर बॉन्डिंग जर वीक असेल तर त्या द्रवाचा बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कमी असतो आणि त्या द्रवाचं असणारं व्हेपर प्रेशर हे जास्त असेल. म्हणजेच ज्या द्रवाच्या बाबतीमध्ये इंटरमोलेक्युलर बॉन्डिंग वीक असेल त्याचं व्हेपर प्रेशर तुम्हाला जास्त दिसून येईल. सो व्हेपर प्रेशर डिपेंड्स अपॉन intermolecular bonding present in the liquid. Weaker the intermolecular bonding, greater will be the vapor pressure of the liquid and vice versa. That means this vapor pressure is inversely proportional to the strength of intermolecular bonding. If intermolecular bonding is weak, then that liquid having higher vapor pressure and that liquid can be referred as volatile liquid. So the volatile liquid is the liquid which have higher value of the vapor pressure. Second is that the liquid which have stronger intermolecular bonding. The liquid which have stronger intermolecular bonding that have higher boiling point and its vapor pressure is very low. So such liquid is referred as non-volatile liquid. So on the basis of this factor we can classify liquid into two types: volatile liquid and non-volatile liquid. Volatile liquids which have high value of the vapor pressure, that is which have weak intermolecular bonding, and the liquid which have low vapor pressure, that means which have strong intermolecular bonding, referred as non-volatile liquid. And this is all about the factors affecting vapor pressure of the liquid. Now after studying this factor we discuss vapor pressure of the solution. Vapor pressure of the solution. As we know that solution is the homogeneous mixture of two or more components. दोन किंवा अनेक घटकांचं एकजीव स्वरूपाचं तयार केलेलं मिश्रण म्हणजेच द्रावण. आता ह्या द्रावणाचे आपण प्रकार बघितलेले आहेत. मग त्याच्यामध्ये बायनरी सोल्युशन, टर्नरी सोल्युशन आणि क्वाटर्नरी सोल्युशन हे तीन प्रकार अभ्यासलेले आहेत. पैकी आपण या ठिकाणी जो प्रकार विचारामध्ये घेणार आहे तो म्हणजे बायनरी सोल्युशन. What is binary solution? The solution which consists of two component. ज्या द्रावणामध्ये दोन घटक असतील त्या द्रावणाला आपण बायनरी सोल्युशन असं म्हणणार आहे. आता या बायनरी सोल्युशन मध्ये असणारे जे दोन घटक आहेत की ज्यांना आपण नावं दिलेली आहेत. एकाला म्हटलंय सोल्यूट की जो त्या द्रावणामध्ये कमी प्रमाणामध्ये वापरला जातो आणि दुसरा जो घटक आहे तो म्हणजे सॉल्व्हंट की जो आपण जास्त प्रमाणामध्ये वापरतोय. सो कंपोनेंट ऑफ द बायनरी सोल्युशन विच इज इन स्मॉलर अमाउंट इज सोल्यूट अँड कंपोनेंट ऑफ द बायनरी सोल्युशन विच इज इन लार्जर अमाउंट दॅट इज सॉल्व्हंट अँड बाय मिक्सिंग देम वी गॉट द सोल्युशन. So vapor pressure of binary solution. Now here we consider this solute as well as solvent, both are volatile. So first type of the solution is solution containing both component are volatile. What do you mean by volatile component? The component of the solution which have high value of the vapor pressure is known as volatile component. Now we have solution which contain both component, that is solute as well as solvent, both are volatile in nature. जर एखाद्या द्रावणामध्ये दोन्ही कंपोनंट जर व्होलेटाईल असतील तर या द्रावणासाठी आपण या ठिकाणी एक नियम वापरणार आहे की ज्याला म्हटलं जातं राउल्ट्स लॉ. हा राउल्ट्स लॉ काय आहे तर अकॉर्डिंग टू राउल्ट्स लॉ पार्शियल वेपर प्रेशर of any volatile component is the product of vapor pressure of that component in its pure state and mole fraction of that component in the solution. So according to Raoult's law, partial vapor pressure of any volatile component, it may be solute or it may be solvent, is the product of, that is multiplication of. कोणाचं मल्टिप्लिकेशन असेल तर तो जो काही कंपोनंट त्याचं प्युअर स्टेट मधलं व्हेपर प्रेशर आणि त्याच कंपोनंटचा त्या सोल्युशन मध्ये असणारा मोल फ्रॅक्शन. अगदी आपण या ठिकाणी गृहीत धरू, समजून चला P1 हे पार्शियल व्हेपर प्रेशर असेल सॉल्व्हंटचं. So P1 is the partial vapor pressure of the solvent. P2 is the partial vapor pressure of solute. P10 is the vapor pressure of solvent. In pure state, while P20 is vapor pressure of solute in its pure state. X1 is the mole fraction of solvent in solution, and last X2 is the mole fraction of solute in solution. So according to Raoult's law, we can write the equation for both volatile solute as well as for volatile solvent. For volatile solute, we can write that is P2 is equal to P20 into X2. P2 is the partial vapor pressure of the solute, which is the product of vapor pressure of the solute in its pure state and its mole fraction in the solution. Similarly, for solvent, we have equation P1 is equal to P10 into X1. This P1 is the partial vapor pressure of the solvent. P10 is the vapor pressure of the solvent in its pure state, and X1 is the mole fraction of the solvent in the solution. So this is all about the Raoult's law for the solution containing both volatile component. Now if we mix this solute and solvent to get solution, so this solution obtained which have total vapor pressure, and we can say it as vapor pressure of the solution. So by mixing this volatile solute and volatile solvent into one another, we got solution, and whatever vapor pressure exerted by the solution can also be referred as total pressure of the solution. Now according to Dalton's law, this total pressure PT, or we can also write it as PS. PT stands for total pressure, or we can say it as also vapor pressure of the solution, PS. According to Dalton's law, that total pressure is the sum of partial vapor pressure of the solvent and partial vapor pressure of the solute. So according to Dalton's law, total vapor pressure of the solution is the sum of partial vapor pressure of the solvent and partial vapor pressure of the solute. By putting values of the partial vapor pressure of the solvent and partial vapor pressure of the solute in this equation, we can write PT or PS is equal to P1 is nothing but P10 into X1 plus P2 is nothing but P20 into X2. So this is partial vapor pressure of the solvent and this is the partial vapor pressure of the solute. As both of these volatile one, we can write their equation according to Raoult's law. So we can write here that is X1 is equal to 1 minus X2, as we know that the sum of mole fraction of all component in the solution is always equal to 1. From this equation, mole fraction of the solvent is 1 minus X2. By putting this value in this equation, we can write PS is equal to P10 into 1 minus X2 plus P20 into X2. So we have P10 minus P10 into X2 plus P20 into X2. We can write this equation as PS is equal to P10 plus P20 X2 minus P10 X2. By taking common X2, we can write here P10 plus P20 minus P10 into X2, and this is the equation for the Raoult's law, the solution containing both component are volatile one. Equation is PS is equal to P10 plus P20 minus P10 into X2. Now if we plot the graph between vapor pressure versus mole fraction of the solute and solvent, we got the graphical representation as like this. So here vapor pressure P, if we have mole fraction of the solvent X1 is equal to 1 and it goes on decreasing, X1 is equal to 0. Simultaneously, as the mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, mole fraction of the solute get increases. So here X2 equal to 0 and X2 equal to 1, and these are the values of mole fraction. Now for solvent, initially mole fraction of the solvent is 1 and that of solute is 0. So we have here value, that is the vapor pressure of pure solvent, that have the value on y-axis. Similarly, when mole fraction of the solvent becomes 0, mole fraction of the solute becomes equal to 1, and at this vapor pressure of the pure solute is P20. We observed that as mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, its vapor pressure also get decreases. So the vapor pressure of the solvent get decreases, during which vapor pressure of the solute get increases, and we got graph as like this. So as the mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, its vapor pressure also get decreases, and as the mole fraction of the solute get increases, its vapor pressure also get increases. That indicate this vapor pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction. So we have these two graphs. Now if we connect this point P10 and point P20, we got total pressure, that is PT, is equal to P1 plus P2, and that is according to Dalton's law, that is total pressure exerted by the vapor of the solution is the sum of partial vapor pressure of the solvent and partial vapor pressure of the solute, and it is intermediate between this P10, that is vapor pressure of the solvent in its pure state, and P20, that is the vapor pressure of the solute in its pure state. So PT is intermediate between these two, and this is all about the vapor pressure of the solution. The next point is ideal solution and non-ideal solution. Ideal solution and non-ideal solution. So ideal solution and non-ideal solution. Out of the first, ideal solution. What do you mean by ideal solution? आता आयडियल सोल्युशन म्हणजे नेमकं काय? तर the solution which obeys a Raoult law in the entire range of concentration at all temperature known as ideal solution. जे द्रावण कोणत्याही सहतीला आणि कोणत्याही तापमानाला जर राऊल्ट लॉ ओबे करत असेल तर त्या द्रावणाला आयडियल सोल्युशन असं म्हणता येईल. आता या आयडियल सोल्युशनची काही खास वैशिष्ट्य आहेत. त्यापैकी सगळ्यात महत्वाचं वैशिष्ट्य असं आहे की या द्रावणाची एन्थाल्पी ऑफ सोल्युशन ही नेहमी शून्य असते. सो एन्थाल्पी ऑफ सोल्युशन इज 0. Now what do you mean by enthalpy of solution? Enthalpy of solution is nothing but enthalpy change when 1 mole of the solute is added to the given amount of the solvent to form a solution of specific concentration. जेव्हा 1 मोल इतका सोल्यूट विशिष्ट अशा आकारमानाच्या द्रावकामध्ये आपण ऍड करू तेव्हा विशिष्ट सहतीचं द्रावण तयार होईल. आणि हे द्रावण तयार होत असताना एकतर बाहेर टाकली गेलेली किंवा शोषली गेलेली जी काही ऊर्जा असेल त्या ऊर्जेला त्या पदार्थाची एन्थाल्पी ऑफ सोल्युशन असं म्हणता येईल. तर यामध्ये आयडियल सोल्युशनची एन्थाल्पी ऑफ सोल्युशन ही शून्य असणार आहे. याचा अर्थ आहे ही सोल्युशन फॉर्मेशनची प्रोसेस ही एक्झोथर्मिक किंवा एंडोथर्मिक असणार नाही. इट इज नायदर एक्झोथर्मिक नॉर एंडोथर्मिक. सो एन्थाल्पी ऑफ सोल्युशन इज 0. Second important fact about this ideal solution is volume change of the mixture is 0. That is delta V of the mixture is 0. Now what do you mean by volume change of the mixture? That is during the formation of solution we mix some amount of the solute in the some amount of the solvent. काही आकारमानाचा आपण सोल्यूट घेतो तो काही आकारमानाच्या सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये आपण ऍड करतोय की जेणेकरून आपल्याला विशिष्ट आकारमानाचं सोल्युशन त्या ठिकाणी तयार होईल. आता व्हॉल्यूम चेंज ऑफ द मिक्सचर इज 0 याचा अर्थ काय तर समजून चला आपण 80 ml इतका जर सोल्यूट घेतला असेल आणि तो 100 ml इतके जर सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये ऍड केला असेल तर एकूण या मिश्रणाचं आकारमान म्हणजे सोल्यूट आणि सॉल्व्हंट हे दोन्ही घटक एकमेकांमध्ये मिक्स करण्या अगोदरचं जे आकारमान आहे एकूण आकारमान असेल 180 ml. आता जेव्हा हे दोन घटक एकमेकांमध्ये मिक्स होतील आणि त्यांच्यापासून द्रावण तयार होईल त्यावेळी जे काही मिळणारं द्रावणाचं आकारमान असेल तेही जर 180 ml इतकं असेल तर याच्यामध्ये व्हॉल्यूम चेंज ऑफ द मिक्सचर इज 0 म्हणता येईल. कारण बिफोर मिक्सिंग टोटल व्हॉल्यूम इज 180 ml and after mixing after formation of solution volume is again 180 ml. म्हणजे दोन्ही पदार्थ एकमेकांमध्ये मिसळण्या अगोदरचं एकूण आकारमान 180 ml इतकं आहे आणि हे दोन्ही घटक मिसळल्यानंतर जे काही द्रावण तयार होईल त्याचं आकारमान सुद्धा 180 ml इतकंच आहे. सो इनिशियल व्हॉल्यूम इज इक्वल टू फायनल व्हॉल्यूम. देअरफॉर चेंज इन व्हॉल्यूम ऑफ द मिक्सचर इज 0. तर या पद्धतीनं हा दुसरा मुद्दा. तिसरा महत्वाचा मुद्दा आपल्याला या ठिकाणी सांगता येईल जेव्हा कधी आपण आयडियल सोल्युशन तयार करू त्यावेळी त्या सोल्युशन मध्ये वापरला जाणारा जो सोल्यूट आहे तो सोल्यूट डिसोसिएशन किंवा असोसिएशन यापैकी कोणतीही प्रक्रिया दाखवणार नाही. सोल्यूट डू नॉट अंडरगो डिसोसिएशन और असोसिएशन इन द सोल्यूशन. सो इम्पॉर्टंट फॅक्ट इज सोल्यूट डू नॉट undergoes association or dissociation. We know that these two terms, association means solute particle get associated together and dissociation means solute particles undergo dissociation into its constituent ion. So in the formation of ideal solution solute do not undergo dissociation or association. Fourth important fact about this ideal solution is this solute and solvent molecule are identical one. solute molecule and solvent molecules are identical in their size, structure as well as nature of intermolecular forces present in them. म्हणजेच आयडियल सोल्युशन साठी वापरला जाणारा जो सोल्यूट असेल आणि सॉल्व्हंट असेल त्यांचे मोलेक्युल आयडेंटिकल असणार आहेत, म्हणजे एकसारखे असणार आहेत. त्यांचं स्ट्रक्चर असेल, त्यांचं साईज असेल किंवा त्यांच्यामध्ये असणारे इंटरमॉलिक्युलर फोर्सेस असतील, यांचंही स्वरूप एक सारखंच असेल. आणि या पद्धतीनं सोल्यूट अँड सॉल्व्हंट मॉलिक्यूल आर आयडेंटिकल. So these are some of the important characteristics of the ideal solution. Now examples of ideal solution. Some common examples of this ideal solution are, that is mixture of benzene and toluene. Again mixture of carbon tetrachloride and silicon tetrachloride. Mixture of N-hexane and N-heptane. Again mixture of chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. Some other examples are mixture of ethyl chloride and ethyl bromide, mixture of ethylene dichloride and ethylene dibromide. So these are the examples of ideal solutions. Remember that no solution is ideal one, no solution is perfectly ideal, but these are the mixture which shows ideal behavior. So this is all about the ideal behavior. Now graphical representation for the ideal behavior. Now in case of this graphical representation, if we plot the graph between vapor pressure against mole fraction, so on y-axis we plot vapor pressure, and on x-axis we plot mole fraction. We are going to prepare solution. Initially mole fraction of solute is 0 and mole fraction of solvent is 1, and at the final state mole fraction of the solute becomes 1 and mole fraction of the solvent becomes equal to 0. So change in mole fraction of solute and solvent as, that is x1 is equal to 1 and it finally becomes equal to 0, while x2 is initially 0 and it finally becomes equal to 1. So this is the change in the mole fraction of the solvent and the solute. Now as the mole fraction of the solute is 0 and mole fraction of the solvent is 1, that means this is the pure solvent, and whatever vapor pressure of the pure solvent is represented by point P10. So this point represent vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Similarly, at the end of this experiment, mole fraction of the solvent becomes 0 and mole fraction of the solute is 1. That means there is a pure solute. So vapor pressure of the pure solute is represented by P20. Now during the course of the solution, as mole fraction get changes, we know that vapor pressure of the solution or vapor pressure also get changes. So as mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, its vapor pressure also get decreases. As the mole fraction of the solute get increases, its vapor pressure also get increases, and we got straight line graph as above. So this straight line indicate that as mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, its vapor pressure also get decreases, and this line indicate this partial vapor pressure of the solvent, and that is equal to product of P10 into X1 according to Raoult's law, and it obeys Raoult's law, so we got this straight line nature. Again, in case of solute, initially mole fraction of the solute is 0 and finally it becomes equal to 1. That indicate mole fraction of the solute goes on increasing, and with increase in its mole fraction, its vapor pressure also get increases, and we can represent graphically as like this. So this graph indicate increase in vapor pressure of the pure solute with increase in its mole fraction. So this is the straight line which also obeys Raoult law, that is partial pressure, vapor pressure of the solute P2 is the product of vapor pressure of the solute in its pure state and its mole fraction. So we have point P10 that indicate vapor pressure of the pure solvent, and point P20 that indicate vapor pressure of the pure solute. Again, if we connect these 2 points, we got a straight line, and that straight line indicate the total pressure of the solution, and that is equal to P1 plus P2 according to Dalton's law of partial pressure. Total vapor pressure of the solution is the sum of partial vapor pressure of the solvent and partial vapor pressure of the solute. So PT, that is total vapor pressure of the solution, is in between or intermediate between P10 to P20. So this is the graphical representation for the solution which shows ideal behavior. Now next point is that non-ideal solution. Non-ideal solution. What is non-ideal solution? That is the solution which do not obey Raoult law in the entire range of concentration. जे द्रावण कोणतेही सहतीला जर राउल्ट्स लॉ ओबे करत नसेल तर त्या द्रावणाला आपण नॉन आयडियल सोल्युशन असं आपण म्हणणार आहे. सो द सोल्युशन विच डू नॉट ओबे राउल्ट्स लॉ इन द एंटायर रेंज ऑफ कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन. आता या ही द्रावणाची काही महत्वाची वैशिष्ट्य आपल्याला सांगता येतील. त्यापैकी पहिलं आणि महत्वाचं वैशिष्ट्य असं आहे दॅट इज एन्थॅल्पी ऑफ सोल्युशन इन केस ऑफ non-ideal solution is not equal to 0. So enthalpy of solution for non-ideal solution is not equal to 0. That means this enthalpy of solution is either greater than 0 or it may less than 0. It may either greater than 0 or it may less than 0. As it is greater than 0, it should be positive, and if it is less than 0, then it should be negative. Enthalpy of solution is positive, that indicate this process is endothermic. That means heat is absorbed during the formation of solution, and as the enthalpy of solution is negative, this process is exothermic. That means heat is evolved out during the formation of solution. So enthalpy of solution is not equal to 0. Second most important fact about the volume change after mixing of the solute and solvent. So in case of non-ideal solution, volume change on mixing is also not equal to 0. Similarly, as above, this volume change of the mixture is either greater than 0 or it may less than 0. एकतर व्हॉल्यूम चेंज हा शून्यापेक्षा जास्त असेल किंवा व्हॉल्यूम चेंज हा शून्यापेक्षा कमी असेल. तर व्हॉल्यूम चेंज शून्यापेक्षा जास्त आहे याचा अर्थ डेल्टा व्ही ऑफ द मिक्सचर इज पॉझिटिव्ह, दॅट व्हॉल्यूम गेट इन्क्रीजेस अँड ऍज दिस delta V is less than 0, that indicate it is negative, that means volume get decreases after the formation of solution. So this is all about the volume change of the mixture that is not equal to 0. It may greater than 0 or it may less than 0. Now depending upon this, non-ideal solutions are classified into two categories. So one of them is that non-ideal solution which shows positive deviation, and another type is that non-ideal solution which shows negative deviation. So we discuss one by one. First of all, non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. Non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. What are the characteristics of this solution? And this non-ideal solution shows positive deviation means enthalpy of solution is positive, that is it is greater than 0. Enthalpy of solution is positive or it is greater than 0, that indicate this process of formation of solution is endothermic one. So during the formation of solution, heat energy is absorbed. Now this heat energy is absorbed because this solute-solute interaction and solvent-solvent interaction is quite greater to that of solute-solvent interaction. So remember that solute-solute interaction and solvent-solvent interactions are greater to that of solute-solvent interaction, and because of that energy required to break solute-solute interaction as well as solvent-solvent interaction, and hence this process is endothermic one. Second is that volume change of the mixture is also positive, that is it is also greater than 0. Volume change of the mixture is positive or it is greater than 0, that means after mixing solute and solvent with each other, we observe volume of the solution get increases. That means volume of the solution is greater to that of sum of volume of the solute and volume of the solvent before mixing. So this volume get increases. Solution get increases. So this is all about the non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. Next is that graphical representation for this non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. If we plot the graph between vapor pressure against mole fraction, so on y-axis we plot vapor pressure, and on x-axis we plot mole fraction. Initially mole fraction of the solvent is 1 and finally it reaches to 0. Mole fraction of the solute, initially it is a 0 and it reaches to 1. So mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, simultaneously mole fraction of the solute get increases. As initially mole fraction of the solvent is 1, that means we have this pure solvent, and whatever vapor pressure of the pure solvent can be represented by the point P10. Similarly, finally, when mole fraction of the solvent becomes equal to 0, mole fraction of the solute is 1, and that means the solute is in pure state. This point represents vapor pressure of the solute in its pure state. Now, during the course of this change, variation in the mole fraction of the solvent and the solute, we know that as mole fraction increases, vapor pressure also get increases. In case of solvent, as the solvent shows ideal behavior, we have this dotted line. So this dotted line represents ideal behavior of the solvent. Now, as it shows positive deviation, the change in the vapor pressure with respect to its mole fraction is that as mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, we got a curved line. So this curved continuous line indicate that variation of the vapor pressure with decrease in mole fraction of the solvent. So similarly, in case of solute, as its mole fraction get increases and as it shows ideal behavior, the graphical representation can be represented by a dotted line. Now this solution behaved non-ideally, so we got the graphical representation as like this. We got curve. So as mole fraction of the solute get increases, its vapor pressure also get increases, but it shows positive deviation. If we connect these two points P10 and P20, we got PT, that is total vapor pressure of the solution, as considering its ideal behavior. But as the solution acts as non-ideal, we got a curve. So this curve indicates that positive deviation from the ideal behavior. So this is all about the graphical representation for the non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. And on the basis of this graph, we can observe this vapor pressure of the mixture or vapor pressure of the solution is quite higher, and as vapor pressure of the solution is quite higher, its boiling point is lower, so it is referred as low boiling azeotrope or azeotropic mixture. So as the boiling point of this solution is low, it is referred as low boiling azeotropic mixture, and this is all about non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. Now next is that non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. Non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. As the non-ideal solution which shows negative deviation, the enthalpy change of the solution is not equal to 0. That means it is negative. So enthalpy change of the solution is negative. That means this process is exothermic one. So enthalpy of formation of solution is negative and this process is exothermic. Now question is that why this process is exothermic? Observation is that solute interaction and solvent interaction are weaker as compared to solute solvent interaction, or in another word, solute solvent interaction is greater to that of solute-solute interaction and solvent-solvent interaction. So immediately solute and solvent get combines with one another, get chemically react with one another and releases energy, and because of that this process is exothermic one. Another characteristic is that volume change of the mixture is also negative. Volume change of the mixture is negative. That means during the formation of this solution, volume get decreases. So before mixing and after mixing, that volume of the solution is less as compared to the sum of volume of the solute and volume of the solvent, and because of that delta V of the mixing is 0. Now next is that graphical representation for the non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. If we plot the graph between vapor pressure versus mole fraction, so here vapor pressure on y-axis and mole fraction on x-axis. Initially mole fraction of the solvent is 1 and finally it reaches to 0. Mole fraction of the solute is initially 0 and it finally reaches to 1. So during this process mole fraction of the solvent get decreases and mole fraction of the solute get increases. Now initially we have mole fraction of the solvent equal to 1 and mole fraction of the solute is 0. ज्यार्थी सॉल्व्हंटचा मोल फ्रॅक्शन 1 आहे आणि सोल्यूटचा मोल फ्रॅक्शन 0 आहे, याचा अर्थ आपल्याकडे जे काही आहे ते प्युअर सॉल्व्हंट आहे आणि प्युअर सॉल्व्हंटचं वेपर प्रेशर आपण पॉइंट P10 नी रिप्रेझेंट करणार आहे. शिवाय अगदी शेवटी जेव्हा मोल फ्रॅक्शन ऑफ द सॉल्व्हंट हे 0 होईल आणि मोल फ्रॅक्शन ऑफ द सोल्यूट हा 1 इतका होईल, त्यावेळी आपल्याकडे जे काय असेल ते प्युअर सोल्यूट असणार आहे आणि त्या प्युअर सोल्यूटचं वेपर प्रेशर आपण P20 ने रिप्रेझेंट करणार आहे. आता याच्यामध्ये जसं सॉल्व्हंटचं मोल फ्रॅक्शन कमी होत जाईल तसं त्याचं वेपर प्रेशर सुद्धा कमी होत जाणार आहे आणि जर त्याचा आयडियल बिहेवियर विचारामध्ये घेतला तर आपल्याला जो ग्राफ मिळेल तो आपण या ठिकाणी डॉटेड लाईन इंडिकेट करू. सो दिस इज द ग्राफिकल रिप्रेझेंटेशन बाय कन्सिडरिंग इट्स अ आयडियल बिहेवियर. आता ज्यार्थी हा किंवा हे सोल्युशन नॉन आयडियल सोल्युशन आहे आणि निगेटिव्ह डेव्हिएशन दाखवतंय, आपल्याला मिळणारा जो काही ग्राफ आहे तो या पद्धतीने कर्व्ड ग्राफ असेल. सो दिस as mole fraction of the solvent get decreases, its vapor pressure also get decreases, but not continuous decrease. It is in the curved manner and that curve indicate negative deviation from the ideal behavior. Similarly, in case of solute, as mole fraction of the solute get increases, its vapor pressure also get increases. By considering its ideal behavior, we got its a dotted line. But as it shows non-ideal behavior, we got a curve. So this curve indicate non-ideal behavior showing negative deviation. If we connect these 2 points, P10 and P20, we got again a dotted line which represent total vapor of pressure of the solution by considering ideal behavior. But as this solution shows the non-ideal behavior, we got this curve. Now this graph indicates that vapor pressure of the solution is less to that of its ideal behavior. त्याचं वेपर प्रेशर जे काय ते कमी आहे त्याच्या आयडियल बिहेवियर पेक्षा, आणि ज्या अर्थी वेपर प्रेशर कमी आहे याचा अर्थ बॉइलिंग पॉइंट हा जास्त असणार आहे आणि या बॉइलिंग पॉइंट जास्त असणाऱ्या मिश्रणाला आपण या ठिकाणी म्हणणार आहे हाय boiling azeotropic mixture. So this is high boiling azeotropic mixture as vapor pressure is lower to that of its ideal behavior. As the vapor pressure is low, its boiling point will be high, and because of that it is referred as high boiling azeotropic mixture. Now examples belonging to the non-ideal solution showing positive deviation and negative deviation. Examples of non-ideal solution showing positive deviation and negative deviation are: non-ideal solution showing positive deviation, mixture of acetone and carbon disulfide, mixture of acetone and benzene, mixture of acetone and ethanol, mixture of water and ethanol, and mixture of water and methanol. So these are the examples of non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. Similarly, some of the examples of the non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. Non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. Examples are mixture of acetone and aniline. Again, mixture of acetone and pyridine. Mixture of acetone and chloroform. Mixture of water and nitric acid. Mixture of water and hydrochloric acid. Similarly, mixture of acetic acid and pyridine. So these are all examples belonging to the non-ideal solution showing negative deviation, and this is all about the classification of the solution, that is ideal solution and non-ideal solution. And in case of non-ideal solution, we again classify non-ideal solution showing positive deviation and non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. Thank you.